Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. It is 9:43 in late at night over here in Panama. It is 10:43 East Coast time, and it is 7:44 West Coast time. It is a privilege to be with you guys tonight. Share this video, like the video on Facebook, hit that bell button on YouTube, comment on the comment section, hit that like button, hit that bell button, so we can get more people involved in this live feed. Nice to say hello to you guys. It is a pleasure to say hello to you guys. We are over here in Panama, live from Panama, giving you guys the reality and truth of the news as we have been. Today we were live at the War Room with Mr. Dave, I think it's Dave Bratt today. And ultimately also we have been going, sharing information on Twitter. You guys want to hear what is going on, in between, the situation at the Darien Gap and the closing of the Darien Gap. Go to my X account. That is where I'm posting in English. And also, the only place that I go live, every time that I go live is in English on this platform, Facebook, YouTube, and also on Twitter and on X. Everybody's saying, how you doing? I'm doing good. It's about, we're over here. We have been more over here than a week. We have important meetings on this week regarding what is going on and what is happening over here in this situation. And ultimately, we want to know specifically what it is, the reality of what it is going on and what is going to happen. So, giving you guys an update of what is the situation over here. The situation, it is delicate. The Panamanian president is trying to do the best that he can to his abilities and his capabilities and his financial capabilities when it comes to Panama in terms of immigration. He cannot do this alone. Also, when he's trying to just shut down the Darien and close the Darien, he cannot do this alone. This is an impossible task for him to do it alone. He needs more countries. He needs, the whole hemisphere and the continent of America to understand that this is a humanitarian crisis. And ultimately, in my perspective, in my optic, that it was provoked by these globalists, bringing the global compact of migration, in illegal migration and through all the continent. I don't know if you guys have seen just now, my brother, Ben Berquam, it is in France. And it is the falling of France under the radical progressive leftists. I don't know what is going on. It's scary. That's the only thing that I can tell you guys. It is scary what is happening around the globe. The progressives and the leftists have, completely taken over different countries. There's a mass migration in France that is mostly priority Muslim. Nothing against, I'm not a, xenophobic or Islamophobe of what is happening over there. No, and no. I even know, I know the religion very well. But the most aggravating thing is that, there's radicalism, there's progressive Marxism that is coming in. The communists, they want to convert every country to a communist system. And it is a complete disaster. It is just disaster. It is a complete disaster what is going on. France is falling. It is a reality for us. The Christian, I'm a Christian. I'm a believer in Jesus. I'm not, a conservative, leftist, Marxist, or whatever, communist or right wing. I'm just a normal human being. But this is the situation which immigration, it is the number one topic around, the globe, and what has caused all these illegalities and all these illegal migration. Although, the communists and the socialists, they say no human is illegal. So that means that everything that comes through the border has to be, is not illegal. So trafficking, and it is not illegal if it's a human being, if it's trafficking, if a coyote, it is trafficking, if a trafficker, it is trafficking human beings, that shouldn't be illegal. That should be just, somebody that is looking for help and as in a humanitarian agenda. It's, if you don't understand what just happened in France, that is actually a copy paste of what can happen in the United States, but in 5K. And also what is happening in France, but 2 times harder that is going to happen. I'm just predicting. I'm not, oh my God, he's such a conspiracy theorist. He's creating hysteria, stupidity, just complete stupidity, that language. But if you don't understand that that is going to be, you know, a huge possibility that that is going to happen, whew, people, you are asleep. What happened to France right now, it is a copy paste of what is going to happen in the United States if these elections are going to go left or right. And it is going to be more aggravating because they know that the actual contender for the Republican Party, it is, you know, it is a complete against, is not against completely everything that the left stands for. Because if we're talking about what in terms of vaccines and all that kind of stuff, Trump pushes, you know, has pushed the vaccine. And also, and don't come to me with this justification that it says it's letting the citizens to see if they want to take it or not. He's pushing it. You know, let's be honest and let's stop with the pandering and stop with the justifications. And also, in terms to abortion, he completely changed his mind. He, in the debate, he said it depends on the state. You know, it depends if the state is want to be liberal, well, they're going to choose liberal. If the state wants to is conservative, well, they know what to do. So it's scary what is happening out there. But you know, although this is actually what has happened to France with you know with specifically the illegal migration. Now you see it. And it is a reality. This has nothing to do with Islamophobe. Thanks to, oh my God. There you go. My mentor himself, Chuck Holton, the great Chuck Holton, the hot zone with Chuck Holton. Man itself. Complete badass. Chuck Holton, follow him on the, hopefully that I will see him this week. I can't wait to see him. Really. I can't wait to see him. This is a comment. Stop accusing Trump. The only standing and fighting, it is him. Nobody's accusing him. I'm just saying the reality. So if you don't want to hear the reality, you go to a place that you can get pandered and also that you will feel safe. I'm just saying. And there's no justification for the vaccine. He's pushing it, and that is it. That's it. Is the only one that it can actually have the narrative to save the United States of America. It is him. But that doesn't justify that he's pushing it and that he's part of it. So leave it alone. Yes, somebody says that you have 2 live streams going on. Yes, the other one, it fell, and you know, it's just complete disaster. And don't justify that it's by choice. And leaving it because if it was a Democrat saying that it was by choice, everybody will be, oh my God, they're giving us the choice. Stop. For God's sake, stop. You know, stop. Really stop. That's the only thing that I'm continuing to say. You know, open up your eyes. This goes, you know, far beyond what is happening. Going back to the topic, illegal migration. You know, this is what has caused, you know, and also just for everybody to understand, he never fired Fauci. I'm just throwing it out there. Bam, mic drop. Let me get my water. I'm just saying, nobody's against him. He's the only one that is going to save America. But he needs to get better, man. He needs to really choose who is going to be behind his campaign, his advisors. The problem with him on the last 4 years were his advisors. That is it. No other justification whatsoever. He had worse advisors, and that is a reality. That is a reality. I remember that, you know, he said on one of the speeches I was with, as a matter of fact, I was down south, and I was covering a caravan, and he did a speech. Trump did a speech when he was president, and he said, uh, "There's the south border of Mexico is secure. Everything is okay." And his advisors told him, yes, it is secure. When I'm watching how the south border it is. There's a massive caravan, and I'm like, no, sir, no, it is no. Mexico's lying to you. It is not secure. There's a caravan over here. There's a caravan over here. So, somebody saying, be careful, Oscar. You have been inspiring and informative. Thank you so much. Let's get right to the point. And I don't want to distract myself, but it's a reality. Let's just be on reality, man. Reality check for everybody, and it's the only one that it can actually save the United States of America. It is him. Because imagine another 4 years. Thank you so much, Miss Glenda, right here. Buy me a coffee. It is right there, pinned in the chat. Your contributions and donations are much needed for me to continue to travel. Change of plans. We are planning to go to Israel, in the next incoming months, and I'm planning to go with the great Chuck Holton. I'm planning to go with him, and that is the only one, that knows everything about Israel. And nobody knows more about what is going on in Ukraine, in the war, and nobody knows better of what is going on in the war in Israel better than the great Chuck Holton. Nobody. I'm telling you, nobody. You can put him on with somebody else, and he will completely school you on history. That is absolutely amazing about this man. But also, he will school you on machinery. He will school you on everything. I'm looking forward to go with him. Everything that you guys donate, it will be to my travel fund to go to Israel with him in the next incoming weeks. I'm really, really hoping that I can go. Extremely hoping that I can go. There's a comment right here. Long live Palestine. Israel needs to fall. They're the bunch of colonizers. Well, I don't know if you're advocating for Hamas and Hezbollah. If you love terrorism and Hamas and Hezbollah, well, I advise you, if you want to go and defend Palestine, go over there. There is, I was there, and as a matter of fact, I was in Kiryat Shimona with Chuck Holton in the middle of a missile launch by Hezbollah in Lebanon, where they threw more than 5 missiles, and I was in the middle of it to the territory of Israel. So God bless you. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm so sick and tired of these people when they try to defend these terrorists, and I'm like, wow, it's just exhausting. Really, it's exhausting to touch on this topic because the narrative it is just no, no, and no, and no. So it's just like live your life, man. Whenever you are, there's going to be a point that you're going to have to understand and repent to everything that is happening. And really, it's sad to see this, but the United States has completely lost track of what they represent. The youth, the people, the left has completely infiltrated this beautiful country. But let's just go back to every single one that is watching. Illegal migration, what has caused? Look what is happening to France, and this is actually happening in the continent of America. The flow continues in the Darien Gap in Panama. It continues massively operating. There is a route that is the expensive route. Thank you so much. Somebody bought me 5 copies. Tony Robinson, thank you so much. Tanya Robinson, thank you so much. No hate, brother. No, there's no hate. That's my response. And I don't go somebody saying Abraham calling Sanchez. Let me just tell you how it is, brother. And for these pro-Palestine, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Let's destroy Israel. There are a bunch of colonizers and all this kind of stuff. For all of you, if you have this kind of language, I don't want to talk to you, man. If you have this language, fear-monger, conspiracy theory, creating hysteria, white supremacist, white imperialist, xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronophobic, fatphobic, racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot. Thank you so much, Noelia Ramirez, for the 3 copies. God bless you. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Creating violence and all this. I don't want to talk to you, man. Really, I don't, because every single argument or justification or every single evidence that I provide, comparable evidence with video, and telling you about this, and you are going to tell me that I'm a Zionist, that I'm the worst of the worst, and I'm a racist, and I'm a colonizer, when I'm brown and we were actually colonized by Spaniards, and they took everything from us. So I really do not want to have a conversation with people like that. One tired mama bought me a coffee. My God, Oscar, you're phenomenal. Thank you so much. Buy me a coffee. It is right there pinned in the chat. Completely appreciate your donations and contributions as I'm here in Panama in my hotel. Talking about the Darien Gap. Okay, the president wants to close it. He already shut down 3 routes on top of the mountain of Caña Blanca. That mountain, Ben Bergquam and myself, we already walked that mountain, the mountain of death. We have walked the Darien Gap 4 times, gone up, on this Darien Gap. Difficult journey, horrible. It's the most treacherous and most difficult thing that I ever done in my life. He closed 3 entrances where the cartel, somebody saying, so killing thousands of children isn't terrorism. Yes, yes, it is. And also, basically cutting people's, how do I say it so the live feed will not end? Oh my God, yes, it is. It is terrorism. As it is the cartel. So basically, I categorize this. What happened on October 7th, if you're justifying, if you forgot what October 7th, what has happened in October 7th, and if you have forgotten that, basically I will tell you that you're advocating exactly the same as the cartels. Because the cartel in Mexico, they are, terrorists. So if you're advocating for October 7th to say, October 7th is nothing comparison to what has happened before and after, you're basically advocating for the cartel. You're basically defending kind of people that they're terrorists and cartels. So, I understand that everything that has happened, in Israel. Are you a Zionist? Oh my God. Jesus. Lord Jesus, I'm over here in Panama working hard to show the people the humanitarian crisis that is happening in the middle of the Darien Gap. As I have walked that treacherous journey, let me just do a prayer for this woman. As I have walked this horrible journey 4 times, saw multiple mudslides, children dying, women dying, decomposed bodies of migrants, and showing the horrible migration that is being pushed by globalists and the United Nations. Lord, I pray for these people that they forgot about you, that they completely forgot about you, Jesus. They forgot about you. They completely forgot about you. They forgot about who you are. They forgot about what the sacrifice that you did when you got tortured and crucified and you were put on a cross and you died for all of us. They forgot about you, Lord. They completely forgot about you. And I pray for these people that the only way that they have for them to justify sin or for them to justify terrorism without justifying evil, it is the accusation of language. You, Lord, know that you're the one that it can bring knowledge, and you're the only one that it can take the knowledge from people and make them incoherent or incompetent. Take the evil. We don't want war, Lord. We want peace. We want peace in Israel with the Palestine people. We want peace in Ukraine with the Russian people. We want peace in every border. We want the automatic eradication of these cartels and these terrorist groups as Hamas and Hezbollah, that they use children as shields where a war is happening. Lord, please illuminate this woman that is right here, using accusations only to justify her narrative and to fit her narrative to be in a live stream. God bless you. I wish you the best. I really do wish you the best. Carmen Samasti bought me 5 coffees. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Miss Glenda, can you pin? Where is it, Miss Glenda? Can you pin? There you go. Thank you so much, Miss Glenda. There's my link right there. Talking about illegal migration again, going back to the Darien, a lot of people try to try to mix in comments and try to mix in topics that they are not about, these particular topic that we are talking about right now. We're talking about illegal migration in Panama, and people try to bring in other topics to deviate the situation, of what it's actually happened. I have almost 600 people on my live stream. Uh, and, somebody saying, go live in Gaza, walk the talk, troll. I went over there. I was almost half a mile from Gaza. I went over there into Israel. And actually, there was a couple of missiles that they were thrown. And it was really difficult. It was really hard. It was impossible to get into, into Gaza. It was impossible. They would not let us in. So, and also, if you get into Gaza or Palestine, actually, ultimately, you would be kidnapped by Hamas and Hezbollah. That is completely the opposite in Israel. You will not get kidnapped by the IDF. But in Palestine, you will be kidnapped by, by Hamas. I know that it's not for me to comment, but I just wanted to just say. So illegal migration, go back to the topic, please stop with the comments. I'm not going to put attention to those kind of comments anymore. Going back to Panama. I'm here in Panama. Let's discuss the topic of Panama. Stay on the topic. So President Molino from Panama has done an incredible job on expanding the message that he is going to stop this treacherous journey, stop this journey through the jungle where multiple people have died, hundreds of people have died. And ultimately, not only that, but the suffering of these migrants that they are going through this journey, being pushed by globalists in the United Nations, and making them understand that that is a route. That is the most, horrible and incompetent, ideology to make people believe that that is completely a route for people to go and travel. And President Molino has decided ultimately to close that route and to close 3 entrances by the organized crime, by the Clan del Golfo. These 3 entrances that were trafficking massively migrants through these particular entrances, and they closed them to deviate them to one side so they can come down to an inspection point where this inspection point that is controlled by Centerfront, and they will actually have documentation of this, of the people that are traveling. Basically, the statement from the new president was that they are going to start returning people that they are landing and they are crossing illegally into they're traveling into the country through the Darien Gap jungle. So I have seen this week, there was something that was crazy. I interviewed this migrant from India. I thought, we had this conversation before. This migrant from India told me, I'm traveling through the United States of America through the wall. I'm crossing the wall. And I said, do you know that that is illegal? And he said, no. No human is illegal. And I said, who told you that? And I said, to cross through the wall and to pay a cartel member, that is illegal. That is, you're being part of an illegal act. And he said, no human is illegal. I said, wow, look where the progressive, liberal, mercenary, Marxist, communist, socialist activists, that the majority are white, look where they have penetrated their ideology all the way to India to make people understand that paying the cartel, it is okay, and it is a way for them to say, hey, look, I'm running away, I pay the cartel, I jumped the wall, save me. And they're using this ideology to brainwash the people, to make them understand that that is actually above the law, that no human is illegal. Now, that was not the aggravating thing. When I interviewed him, he told me it is written on the Constitution that no human is illegal. So I said, I look at the camera as Matthew Tomlin was recording, and I said, what the hell? I wanted to, there's a smirk on my face, because it is, I'm not a US citizen. I don't know completely the Constitution, but I know that in the Constitution, it is not written that it says no human is illegal. I know that by the fact I know that. And I said, where did you saw that? Where that is written? And it said, my family members in the United States told me that. So in this assurance that it's okay to break the law, that it's okay to come and cross a wall and pay the cartel to jump and cross the wall. And it's ultimately one of the things that I said, wow, I was so surprised. But that's one of the things that it was completely shocking. The other thing is the amount of people that are willing to vote for Biden, although it is illegal to vote for Biden. If you are not a citizen, you cannot vote in the United States of America with a paper and ballot. That is illegal to do that. It is against the law. But the majority of the migrants say, if I had the possibility to vote with a paper and ballot, somebody bought me 5 copies. Thank you so much. Keep up the hard work. God bless your dear heart. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Buy me a coffee is right there. Everything that you guys deliver right now, it will be saved for my Israel trip with Chuck Holton. Thank you so much. So this is unbelievable, because I was talking to them and I say to these migrants from India, as if you had the possibility to vote in the United States of America, will you vote for Trump or will you vote for Biden? And every single one of them said Biden. So I said, if you had the possibility, I'm not forcing the question. I'm just asking, if you had the possibility to vote. And then later on, I said, if you had a paper in ballot, do you know that that is wrong to use that to vote? And they said, yes. But if you had it, will you do it? And they said, yes. So I'm like, holy cow, man. It's not good at all, because all around they're getting this idea. People are getting this idea that they can actually, break the law, cross, through a wall. It is okay. Pay the cartel. It is okay. These are international people that are coming from extracontinental. These are extracontinental migrants, and that having a paper and ballot and all this, and elections are coming. So it's just like, whoa, it's really, for me, it's completely shocking. I have asked this question numerous times, documented multiple caravans, and and been in Darien Gap 4 times, documented migration, the majority of the continent of Central and South America, been with, documented migration with Chuck Holton in France, with the UK, Poland, Ukraine, Belgium, Amsterdam. And the reality is that we have a huge problem. The huge problem is that these things that we were born into the ideals of what is wrong is what is right. Now, what it was wrong, now it is right. And what is right, now it is considered racist and extremism and white supremacist and xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronoumphobic, Zionist, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Everything that is considered to be right, Blue, can you cancel the first live? No, I can't. I can't. I'm over here. Let me see if I can do that. People, give me 5 minutes. No, I can't. Everything that is wrong, it is considered now to be right. And this is the actual problem. Now, I went to another place that is called Puerto Limon. This is the place that I came out first when I came out of the Darien. I came out exhausted and with multiple cramps, and it was bad. And I went to this place, and the mass migration of China is, it continues. And it's just unbelievable, man. The way that, Chinese more are arriving, majority men, just the majority are men. But it's, a lot of the migrants from China, and I have to say it, a lot of people say, and no, it's not true, they're lying. And how can you say that? You just fit in your narrative because that China has a lot, it's the CCP. We already know that. But you're basically putting everybody on the same bottle. That's bad. That looks bad, because if one American commits a crime in Mexico, that we have seen multiple times Americans committing crime in Mexico, I'm not going to say every American is exactly the same. It's exactly like these Chinese migrants, Chinese males. It is bad that it's coming through the border, that what they're doing. Yes, it is bad. Is it bad that they're coming, and crossing illegally? Yes, it is bad. Is it bad that they are coming and crossing and paying the cartel? Yes, it is bad. We understand that. We understand that. But ultimately, we cannot judge and say every single one of them is a CCP. We don't know that. But there is a possibility of what the other thing that we have asked multiple times. We have seen Chinese migrants that they're running away because they're Christian and they're being persecuted by the CCP because the religion, now the CCP, what they want to do is basically make it as being part of the state. The state wants to control the religion. The state wants to control, the Christianity. They want to control it. So they are even putting pastors in jail in China. You don't hear this at all. But ultimately, we talked to a few migrants through an app, me and Ben in the middle of the jungle, through an app from Mandarin to English and from English to Mandarin. And he was telling us all of this. And also we asked this question, and I asked this question again as I was in Puerto Limon, where they come out of the Darien. I asked a couple of them, is there spies infiltrated in these groups? And somebody said, and one of the migrants, a Chinese migrant says, just a few. And I said, hold on a minute. Just a few? That's, how many a few can it be? Like, you're talking about a few, what, 500? Or you're talking about a few, 2, 3? It's like saying, if I ask a person from the Middle East, not racial profiling, not doing all of this, hypothetical example for all you liberals. I'm not racist. I'm not xenophobe. I'm not, all of this. I'm brown and I'm Mexican, born and raised. But just giving a hypothetical example. So if I talk to a guy from Iran and I say, hey, have you seen infiltrated people from ISIS or from this particular parts? And if he says, well, just a few. So how many a few can we have? One is too many. Exactly. Somebody, Ms. Glenda commentating, one is too many. It's exactly right. One is too many. And this is the thing that really it's aggravating. What the thing that is aggravating is no filter whatsoever. The only one that is trying to create a filter right now, it is Panama and the Panamanian president. And, you have a progressive mercenary liberal president on the side of Colombia. That is Petro. That, by the way, he did this disgusting thing. They were having a rally, a conservative pro-life, pro-hope rally in the middle of the governmental plaza in Bolivar Plaza. And as they were having a rally, these are people that are Christian and all that. This guy, man, paid a huge banner, gigantic banner of a flag of Palestine that says "Stop the Genocide," and he dropped it. It is not even on the middle of this rally, and this is like, man, these people, they just want to rub it in your face. Their narrative. They don't even let nobody else believe it. There's no freedom of speech anymore. There's no liberty of expression. There's no liberty of they talk about this democracy. They're the ones that they're bullying the democracy. But, talking about going to the topic about Chinese migrants, as I was watching them come in, the majority of them, as you see my videos on X, they're saying F the CCP, F Xi Jinping. They're really emphatic to say that. And it's not the first time that I have recorded this. I have seen migrants in Tapachula, Chiapas, in the part of the, basically on the other side, on the east side of the south border of Mexico. And, as I saw Chinese migrants there, and one of them, they were accusing Xi Jinping of trafficking of children, trafficking of women. These Chinese migrants, a lot of them, they're really expressing their feelings about what is actually the reality, of the reality and the truth of what is happening in the border with them, with actually them. What they're trying to express, what they're trying to say, what is actually happening in their countries. So I don't really go by the way that because one or two, they're bad, that means that they're all bad. That's really to be an incompetent individual. That's really not having a brain. That's really generalizing a whole country. I believe strongly that this needs to stop, and that is it. There's no other way. It is a disaster what Alejandro Mayorkas has done. It is a disaster what Joe Biden has done. It's a complete disaster. And I will tell you that collateral damage. I have repeated so many things, man, so many times. So many times I have repeated this. The collateral damage that the Biden administration has done to the whole continent of America, it is irreparable what they have done. Starting from Panama, the destruction of inside the environmental disaster that they have caused inside of the Darien Gap, it is just more than 60 tons of trash inside of the Darien Gap. The wildlife completely affecting it, the water completely contaminated, the majority, decomposed bodies. It is just a disaster what they have done. And you don't see these environmentalists coming, save the wildlife. You don't see them, but you see them on the wall on the border with the United States and Mexico. The wall is too tall. You're going to affect the wildlife, and the birds are going to crash into the wall. They're not going to be able to fly. And you're like, oh my God. All right. So, this is completely different. You don't see them over here, and they're completely affecting the wildlife. The wildlife, which I mean, what? Monkeys, panthers, crocodiles, snakes, everything that is in the jungle that we have encountered. And, the collateral effect on insecurity, on completely making everybody understand that there shouldn't be a process on every border. And this goes with the idea of the progressive, mercenary, activist, progressive, Marxist liberal in the United States of America that comes with the ideals to say, no borders, no walls, no USA at all. That is the main purpose of these anarchists or these mercenary activists, to not have a border, to not have nothing, no regulations, no nothing. And that is the actual purpose. And this is the collateral effect. Some of the authorities on Central and South America, they have gotten to understand, what the United States is doing, what the hell they're doing, man. They're letting millions and millions of people in. We know that you want to give them an opportunity, but you're not even creating a filter. You don't even know who is coming in and who's coming out. You don't even know who it is in and who is out. And it's completely shocking to see that continue. I was today it was a couple of days ago, I was at this camp that is called Las Blancas. And I went to a particular tent. I just posted this video on X, where the UNHCR, the number one country that funds the UNHCR, it is the United States of America. They give out millions to the UNHCR. And I go there and I see only a tent that it was donated by the UNHCR. The bottom of the tent, it is just wood, plain old wood. You got tents inside, camping tents inside of the, of this huge tent. You got some fans that they're not working. Outside is just feces, complete feces. And the road to get to the other tent, it is just more feces. Children living on inhumane conditions. And this is the refugee organization, which a lot of the people say, Oscar, why do you go one-on-one? There's a personal vendetta with these organizations. I'm like, no, if they would do their job like it's supposed to be done, I will not even have the time. I will have something else to do, man, to criticize these organizations for the lack of work that they do. They're actually living out of human misery. The crisis has been going on for so many years that it looks exactly the same. And if you go to that migrant camp 1 year from now, and this still continues, the tent is going to look exactly the same. The floor is going to look exactly the same. the feces is going to be looking exactly the same. And ultimately, that is, what I'm criticizing, that, you have millions and millions and millions of dollars that they're donated to you, and you only can provide a tenth. Meanwhile, you're living out of human misery. That is the reality. It's not a personal vendetta. It's just all the millions. Where are they? You need to implement them on the crisis. It's about saving lives, not about living out of lives. This is the number one situation. So I will answer a couple of questions. Somebody saying, Oscar, can you try explaining to them why we need Trump back? This is complete. No, I'm not going to try to do that. I'm sorry, I'm not. Explain to who? Explain to who? Who do you want me to explain it to? Oscar Patrick Roepke. Oscar, I read today that Mexico is expanding their military. The writer seems surprised. Can you verify? Expanding to where? To where? I will read your comments. I will read your questions. We are 40 minutes in into the live feed. How's everybody doing? Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. I am live from Panama. Buy me a coffee. It is right there. If you guys would like to donate and contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, much, much needed. Thank you so much. Go ahead with your comments. Go ahead with your questions. Q&A right now. If you guys want to ask a question, let me drink some water. Go ahead with your questions and comments. Questions. If anybody wants to ask a question, go ahead. What kind of question is this? Can Americans, I'm an American also, can U.S. citizens, that is said, move and buy land in Mexico where it's safe? No, you need to be a Mexican citizen to buy land and have the permission to buy land. Where are you going after? Panama. Another country in South America. I'm going back home, and then, I'm basically planning to stay there, and then another country in South America. Can you verify that they are being flown into America? America, again, the United States is called. Difficult because I don't have. I never had the evidence that they're actually flying them. You can actually see, somewhere else where they are, basically giving out this information. And if you rely on it, I am not going to be able to say that because I've never seen it. I have seen how they're flying them from deporting from the United States to several places. Never seen flying them from South America, Central America into the United States of America. I never seen that. Go ahead. Questions? Do you feel safe over there reporting the truth? We have accustomed ourselves to this kind of situation during the years. I get more attacked by the disgusting progressive mercenary activist white liberal in the United States of America than their own cartel. So, it's a risk that we got to take. That's our job, and I have been doing this for years. And we know our mission. God's plan is our mission. So we know if I'm in a place that is a really uncomfortable place, God has put me there for one reason and one reason only, and it's to bring the reality to the camera and to the networks that I work with. Be sure to be watching my first article that I'll be collaborating. I'm collaborating with the Epoch Times now. Be sure to be watching on our next, article that is going to come out on what is happening over here in the Darien Gap. It is going to come out on Epoch Times. My first article coming out with Ms. Arlene Sanchez, also that she's an excellent writer for the Epoch Times. Oscar, what happened with the visit with President Molino and Mayorkas? Well, Mayorkas came down here to basically, uh, you know, basically be present and in the name of the United States of America. Also, President Molino told him, you know what, we have a huge problem with illegal migration through there, and it's completely destroying our jungle and it's completely destroying the culture. We need to, somebody bought me 3 copies. Someone bought 3 copies. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. Buy me a copy. It is right there. Buy me a copy. It is right there. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, thank you so much. The agreement was for somebody else, Miss Mewit, bought me a copy. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Um, and the agreement was that the United States needs to cooperate with Panama. The reason why is because of the American policies. The jungle has been completely destroyed, and they have completely destroyed culture. They have completely destroyed their customs. Uh, Irregular migration has completely, changed drastically the culture of the indigenous tribes, and it has to stop. And it is a lot of people are dying. The organized crime of the cartel and the part of Colombia, they're growing massively. Their industry, it is multi-million industry. So it has to stop. And the negotiations were, you need to help me returning back these people that are coming in illegally through the Darien Gap. That's something that is illegal. We cannot admit it that. And that's his comments. I'm quoting President Molino, what he said. So um, this last part, I'm quoting him on the last part that he said, we are going to return every single person that is coming in illegally through the Darien jungle that doesn't have documents. So that's the number one reason. Support independent media. Thank you so much. Right here. Cafecito break. Stay safe out there. Hey, hope that I can talk to you, man. What's going on, Cafecito? Beautiful Puerto Rican girls in New York. God bless your dear heart, both of you. Are you planning on writing a book about your travels? Yes, it's coming out. It has been over delayed. It's supposed to come out in the next incoming weeks, past incoming month, but it was delayed. There's a book that is going to come out. It's going to be called From Tijuana to the Darien. And also, I'm putting out a documentary that is called 4 Times the Darien. 4 Times Darien, that is about our 4 times traveling in the Darien jungle, showing the reality and truth of what has happened inside of the jungle. So we have put out the documentary. That documentary, the first video documentary was in Spanish, and then I put subtitles in it. The documentary won an award and in the decorated honor in the Congress of Colombia for documenting the mass migration and the migration through the Darien. So yes, the book, yes, it's going to be on Amazon. It is going to be audio in English and in Spanish, and also you can buy it in English and in Spanish. Comments? Water. Comments? Questions? Comments for anybody that is watching? Go ahead. Look forward for your book. Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you so much. Weren't they going to close Darien? They just closed it on the top part. They closed 3 entrances through the Darien. Go ahead, people. Buy me a copy. It's right there. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. We were planning to go back to Israel with Chuck Holton. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that I can have the opportunity to go again, man. It's just an unbelievable experience, and it's just an unbelievable experience. How can I get an autographed book from you? There's going to be autographed books. They're going to have a different cost. So people, if you want to buy an autographed book, is going to have different costs, and also images. So if you want to buy a book, a normal book, It will have a price. If you want to buy a book, with an autograph, it will have another price. If you want to buy a book with an autograph picture of me, autograph picture of me inside of the book, and also pictures in the book, it will have another price. Also, different offers that you can basically have. Guys, want to say questions, Q&A? Thank you so much, Yvonne Hernandez. I can't wait to buy an autograph book. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Uh, Take care of yourself. I've never seen you this shook. Shook. What the shook? Do I look like that? I just drink coffee. Possibly it's because of that. I'm okay. If I was not okay, I would not come on alive. Has the migration flow changed any? Uh, you know, the flow. For me, it has slowed down. For me, it's the last times that we have been there, we were talking about a flow that it was 8 to 10,000 people per 3 to 5 days. Now it is between 600 to 1,000. People that they are arriving continuously on the border. Now it has, ultimately, uh, it has decreased because of the level of insecurities, and also because President Molino has said that ultimately they're going to close the area. Uh, where do you stand if the United States and Mexico were to go at it? I stand with Jesus. There shouldn't be no war. I stand for peace. And you're asking me this question just to tell me that if I say the United States, you will call me a sellout and you will call me a traitor to my country. And if I say Mexico, actually, you will applaud me and you will say you're not a traitor to your country, but you will actually go at it with Americans. That is a question that it has jiribilla, like we say in Mexico. That is a question that it has a purpose for you to say it. I stand with Jesus. I don't stand with war. The majority of the people that there are in our borders in the United States of America, they're Hispanic, they're Mexican American. I have family members, they're Mexican American, that they were born in the United States of America. I have a family member that he's in the National Guard. And imagine seeing my cousin on the other side of the border with a gun, and me on the other side of the border trying to also defend my country with a gun, and seeing my blood right there uh, going against him. What kind of human will do that? So I believe that we live in times that the most important thing it is to find Jesus and find peace. That is the most beautiful man that ever walked this planet. It is Jesus Christ. And I will give you an advice, and I will tell you anything, man. I will tell you the first thing that I got to tell you. Jesus put an example to all of us, brother. Jesus put an example. The greatest example was this. Imagine us Mexicans. The United States of America took a lot of land from Mexico. Back in the day, I was not even born. So I cannot go and say, you took all this land from us. I want it back. But Jesus tells us a lot about his example. Although he knew that he was going to get tortured, he knew that he was going to get crucified, he knew that he was going to get spit on, stepped on, humiliated. He knew all of this. And what was his last message when he was in the cross, brother? Instead of saying, God, punish them, God, take them to hell, God, do the worst, punish them to all of them. His thing that he said when he was in the cross, he said, forgive them, Lord. They do not know what they're doing. So even when you get tortured, even when you're in war, even when you lost and you're losing, the only person that has shown us to repent, and that is much bigger when you humble yourself and you bring peace instead of hatred, it is unity. That is what we need to do. Instead of thinking that California was ours, that Arizona was ours, that New Mexico was ours, that Texas was ours, that the majority of the property that it was on top, it was ours. What we need to do right now is to unite ourselves to better our countries. What we have in Mexico also, Chiapas, the state of Chiapas, was not ours. It was part of Guatemala, and nobody talks about that. But ultimately, we have to work together now as countries. You have family in the United States. I have family in the United States. It's better to not have war and to bring peace. This is what we need. Oscar, one of the commie news network had a piece about Americans being deported for overstaying their visas in Mexico. Do you hear anything? Man, come on. I want to tell you something, but do you live in the United States or Mexico? I live in Mexico. I cannot live in the United States. And I have told my story and I have told my past. So, Google me, find out what happened. First and foremost, brother, why are you reading commie news? Don't do that, man. What's the difference do you notice between organization of the migrations in the Americans compared to Europe, and the Americas compared to Europe? Whew. I have been in Europe with the mass migration of Sudans in Calais, France, into the UK. Really difficult question, because in the UK, the majority of migration is between Africans, and the majority of Africans are Muslim. And not to be Islamophobe or this kind of situation, but we have to be reality of the factual reality. And the majority that they're migrating to France, England, and also Spain, the majority are coming from Muslim countries. So actually, you can understand that, it's a mass migration by, people that they believe in Islam. And, France has from 10 years to 15 years, there's a huge percentage of people that they are going to grow and to be part of Islam. In comparison to the migration that is on the continent of America. The continent of America, let me tell you how it is. It is a weaponized migration. They're using our vulnerabilities in our people for a political purpose. They know the progressives and the liberals, and also both political parties, the Republicans and the rhinos and the Democrats. They know that we live in insecure, in poverty and necessity, and they know that they can use us easily to just create an idea that the American dream still exists, and people will do as whatever it takes to get from whatever place all the way into the United States of America. They will sacrifice everything that they have. They even will lose their lives, knowing that there's a big possibility to lose their lives. They will lose their lives. But the purpose in the Americas is to basically, in my own perspective, and from my perspective, in my optic, if you understand what is going to happen from here to 10 years, and from here to 15 years, and this is my opinion, this is not a conspiracy, this is my theory, what I believe. If you understand what is happening to the United States of America, and you have two political parties, both of these political parties, one of them, if this doesn't get controlled, it will be it will disappear, and it will never win an election, possibly ever again. And this is the Republican Party. The majority of the people that are coming in, if you get them to ask these people, if you had a possibility to vote in the future, and if you have a possibility to see where your life can be profited of, who will you vote for? And they will vote immediately for the person that let them into a better life. And who is this? This is Joe Biden. So you will get to understand where the mechanism of the next generation, you need to reproduce. The migrants are people who need to reproduce, they need to grow. And you have children and generations, and the next generations to come will grow into this ideology of progressive Marxist liberalism, which is being implemented in your schools now. What is the progressive Marxist liberalism? That, ultimately in your schools and in your colleges, they're teaching that communism, it is okay. They're teaching that Marxism is okay. It is the solution. When I'm seeing people from Venezuela and children that they're 14 years of age explaining that communism is the worst thing that it can happen to a country, and that they're living in poverty in Venezuela, they're living in poverty in Cuba. And actually, this 14-year-old, you can go and see this video on X platform, which I put captions in English. He says, yeah, communism possibly works in Russia, possibly works in China, but in the continent of America, it doesn't work. And in my country, it didn't work. So the ideals of the next generation, 10 or 15 years from now, you need to understand where they're going. And the sad thing about it is that in our customs in Hispanic, countries and in Latino countries, we have three values that the radical progressives, as soon as we step into the United States of America, they want to eliminate and eradicate our customs and our culture. And I will tell you which ones they are. Number one, we are capitalists by nature. We are not communists. We are capitalists by nature. Si no trabajas, eres un huevón y no te quiero en la casa. We are like that. You need to work. And if you don't work, you're out of the house. You need to find a way to work. And that is our mentality. We always find something to work. If it is on the land, if it is on a farm, if it is on construction, if it is what it is, we need to bring, if it is a flea market, whatever it is, we are capitalists by nature. Second value that we have, it is family. Everything that we do is for our family, is for our mother, is for our father. We have enormous respect to our grandparents still, for uncles and aunts. We shut up when an elderly person is speaking and say, I'm sorry. Still, we get up when we're in a bus and we let an elderly person sit down. It is embarrassing for an adult and a male to be sitting down and you see a woman standing that is pregnant. We can actually, that's really humiliating for us as males. Third value that is important, that is so important for us, we still have faith in God. Everything that we do in the middle of nowhere, we believe in God. You find a migrant inside of the Darien that you tell them it's going to be really difficult for you to get to the United States. Hard. Do you have transportation? Do you have money? I just came with the faith in God. That's the only thing. You will talk to every single one, and they will tell you, I just came with faith in God. We have three values that as soon as, sadly, the progressive, mercenary, leftist Marxists in the United States of America, as soon as they know that we're coming in, and they know that we're vulnerable, and they know that we need the job, and they know that we need a better economical infrastructure, as soon as we come in, they will say, that's bad, that's bad. The trans ideology, the identity gender, what is happening, this, defend terrorists, do this, do that, progressive liberalism to the maximum capacity, that is okay. So we intend to forget our values when we are entering to a brainwashing system. And that's what they're actually doing. It's sad to see this, but one of the things that we still do in Mexico, and I'm going to brag about this because in the United States, they forgot about this. So I was in a graduation last year. No, not last year, 2 years ago. I was in a graduation of a high school. And as I was in the graduation, honores a la bandera, honors to our flag, everybody had to stand up. As soon as the flag with the 6 people that are carrying a flag to honors to our flag. They come in. And, as soon as they come in, everybody stood up. No hats. Take your hats off. Everybody takes your hats off. And, you say Pledge of Allegiance. That is the Mexican Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody with their hands like this. Pledge of Allegiance. And then after that, everybody sang the national anthem. Every single person sang the national anthem. And I was so happy that we still have this in our custom in Mexico, that we still have this. You will never see somebody burning the Mexican flag as they do in the United States of America. The United States of America has so much freedom that they will let them burn their flag. In our country, if you see somebody burning their flag, you will actually go to prison. They will not let you burn our flag. And it's the most precious and honored thing that we have in pride. The eagle standing in a nopal, the borrowing, that's how you say it, the volando, a serpent, a snake. That is the most important initiation of our civilization. The significance of our flag is so important to us that we will never let nobody spit on it or burn it down. And it's sad to see how in the United States of America has completely drifted into this idea that because you're a Zionist, because you are an imperialist, because you are a white supremacist, because you are a xenophobe and transphobe and a conspiracy and a fear monger and all this and the white supremacist right wing and you're a Trumper, you're a MAGA. So because of that, because you are that, I have the ability to burn the flag and say, I'm against it. I'm going to burn the American flag, but I will put the LGBTQ flag, in my school. I will put the Ukraine flag also right there. And I will put the Palestine flag over there. And I will put also the Black Lives Matter flag over there. But don't put the imperialist flag because they're white imperialists. They're white supremacists. They're colonizers. It's such a matter of disrespect. The principle of the country that has given them life, that they're actually living out of the American dollar, the capitalist dollar. Now, ultimately, it is offensive. And you have the ability to burn down the flag. On the contrary, over here, we don't have enough. We don't have that much. We don't have less. I'm so appreciative of God and the opportunity that it has given me to work with American networks and ultimately also to live in my country of Mexico and be proud to be Mexican, to be proud to live in Mexico and to have the ability, thank you, Lord, for giving me the opportunity to travel all across the globe. I was talking to my manager one time, and I told her, hey, I'm in Israel. And she said, you should thank God because of all the opportunities that you get. Look at this year, where you have been. Look at this year, where you have traveled. Look at all these things. And I'm so thankful for that. And I'm a Mexican citizen, and I was born in Mexico. And I was born in Tijuana. I was a bilingual broadcaster that started, broadcasting, licensing communications I have with a beat up phone, a Motorola beat up phone, getting insulted by these American white progressive liberal activists, making fun of me, live streamer, YouTuber, this activist and all this. They always denigrate your terminology and they denigrate what you have studied and you have, emphatically, beat your butt to be the best that you can be. And look at the beautiful things that God has provided. It's every time we have to be. This is a thing that the United States of America is lost right now, and I have said this multiple times. It's not only the United States of America that is lost. All the countries, we need to bring Jesus again. That's it. There's nothing else. We need to bring Jesus again. And that is about it. There's no white privilege. There's no stupidity of white privilege. Stop with that stupidity of white privilege, because I will tell you, if I go right now, let me tell you one thing about this white privilege stupidity. Let me use my card. Can I use my card? I will ask my audience, can I use my card? Can I use my brown privilege card? I don't like to do that because I'm not a snowflake. and I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm a man, first and foremost. So for everybody that talks about the white privilege, they're not a man. They tuck those things in. They're not a man. But let me just use my brown privilege card. So I go and I stay. I'm looking for a job. And I see the manager, and I'm standing there, and I see a couple of white guys also looking for a job. Look how the white privilege card has completely drifted into what I can basically use because of my card. This is what I can use now. Thank you. 10 coffees. My God. Ellie A. Arnaz, 10 coffees. My God, thank you so much. This is what I can use now. Because in these nowadays, I can use this to my advantage now. I can use it to my advantage. So I got these hypothetical example, or these people that they use this kind of language. And I'm not directing myself to nobody. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. Got two white people right here on the side. And I'll be standing there waiting for the line to get a job. And I'll be going inside of this job application after the two white guys came out, after their interview. And I will go in there as the third guy. And immediately as I sit down, I'm just going to say, I'm going to record this interview. Do you mind? I said, well, okay. You can record this interview. So I want to ask you why I was left all the way to be the third one to enter the interview. I got here first, and you put the two white people in first. Second of all, I feel discriminated. And I feel that as a minority, a word that a lot of the Democrats use to denigrate ourselves, as a minority, I feel denigrated right now that you didn't give me the privilege to come in. And really, I will take this as a racist situation. You're being racist to myself of not giving me the opportunity to also feel to be accepted and to go first. So, I feel that I have the capabilities to be hired. And if you do not hire me, well, I will have to, basically tell you what it is. And ba-bam, I will get the job. That's what it is. And and the opposite side, you have the other side that is, you have the extremists, because they're extremists, that they're saying, oh, they're coming over here to take our jobs. Which jobs are you talking about? Let's be honest. Which jobs are we talking about? Because I'm an independent. I'm not right or left. Tell me which jobs. I will let you answer on the live feed. Which jobs? If we're talking about illegal migration, just tell me which jobs. I'm going there. Because if I'm doing the left side, I am doing the right side also. So I want to ask which jobs. Because nobody wants to do those jobs. I would like to tell you, to be doing roofing at 12 o'clock in Calexico, believe me, that's not a good job. To be working on the farms, raining in a thunderstorm, let me tell you, that's not a good job. So I just want to know which jobs. These are so privileged jobs that people are saying they're stealing our jobs. So I want to know which ones. It is not even about that. It is incorrectly put. What is happening is this, and let me explain you what is happening. If you are talking about a mass deportation, right? Let us just tell you how international corporations, how they work, and how America corporations, how they work. So you have all these fast food restaurants, you have all these American corporations. All these American corporations, they live out of the middle class, lower class economy. And the lower class economy, is basically what they buy. They buy fast food, they go to Walmart, they go to Costco, they go to these American corporations. The majority of these corporations, they live out of the lower class and middle class economy. A lot of the undocumented economy, all of that dollar goes to all these corporations. This is the what is called the ghost tax. It is not reported because of all of these corporations that they're receiving money from money that are paid to illegal immigrants that they are paying underneath the table. So basically, these corporations are living out of it illicit money that is being continued to funnel and funnel and funnel. Now, a lot of the people say, well, we have a lot of illegal immigrants that they're working illegally. Why American companies continue to hire them? That's the other question that I want to ask you. Somebody saying that's not new news, aka ghost tax. All right, Mr. Know-it-all, this is my platform and I'm explaining. So again, I'm asking why continuously a lot of people say there's a lot of illegals, quote unquote illegal immigrants, working underneath the table and being paid incorrectly and being paid illegally. Why American, United States citizens, companies, and corporations still hiring illegal immigrants? And why the government of the United States of America, if they know that you have corporations and companies that they're hiring illegal immigrants, wouldn't it be logical that the ones that they should be punished first will be the company for hiring an illegal that or in an individual that is illegally in the United States of America? Just asking questions. I'm not here to judge or to go against or, wow, my God, Oscars for illegal migration. No. I'm just asking questions. This will completely change. I have had multiple discussions with my brother, Ben Berquam, that he's an America First. He's a Christian. He's a Republican. He's a MAGA Republican. My brother, I love him to that, although we have different opinions of different subjects. Also, I have a lot of conservative right-wing friends in my audience. The majority is right-wing. So I have a lot of independents also. So I can tell you how this can be fixed. And I have said so many times this example. And this example, with this, I will close. I'm going in an hour and 17 minutes. This example is real easy. A lot of the United States economy, the economy of the United States basically relies on international corporations exporting and importing. And also, not only that, but also it relies on, sanctions, the money that it comes out of sanctions. It is the tax. It is really, it's if you see the money where it's coming from, a lot of it is coming from there. So let me tell you how unfair in certain situations it is. So I have put this example so many times. I have given this example so many times, how these American corporations, they're making basically 3,000% out of the land and the countries in Central and South America. And this is what Nayib Bukele has completely changed drastically his economy in his country of El Salvador. He has brought the economy with his own resources and created jobs with what he has inside to be nationwide first product to export into the world. But let me just tell you how I believe that this is. So I give this example, hypothetical, and this stupid example. It is the most stupidest example that you can actually see. But I'm just making this example for Americans to understand how it is. And I believe that it's unfair. So, I'm a capitalist for everybody to understand first and foremost. So I went to this Carl's Jr. And before I went to this Carl's Jr., I Googled how much it was the combo number one in the United States of America. It was the Superstar, I think it's the Superstar or whatever it is, burger with French fries and a Coke, right? And, ultimately, I look at the price, I look at the big combo, the maximum combo. And the medium combo was $5.75 with tax. It was almost $7 to $8, right? So I said, wow, this is an expensive burger to be a Carl's Jr., $7 to $8 a burger. So I look at it, and then I go to the drive-through into Mexico. Same corporation, same manufacturing product. They also have the manufacturing product in Mexico. Same thing. Same thing. I go to the drive-through. I drive in. I look at the price on the prompt, and I see the same combo of burger, at almost exactly 95% of the same price. This is in Mexico. This is not in the United States. In the United States, an average flipper burger gets $18 to $20 an hour in California to flip a burger. But in Mexico, I actually went to the window and I asked the cashier, how much is the final price? And he said, almost $8 converted to pesos. It was 160, almost 200 pesos. So I asked her, how much you make a week? And she said, I make 2,000 pesos a week. This is an American corporation that is implemented in our country of Mexico and that is paying our Mexican workers $120 per week on a 48-hour shift, 8 hours per day, 6 days a week, 2,000 pesos, $120. This is the problem. If all the corporations that they come internationally, I know they're capitalists and they've got to make a winning, but you're providing jobs, which they are not even going to, they're just providing jobs that are basically, for me, they're slave jobs. They're not going anywhere. What are you going to grow from there? What are you going to be able to buy? What are you going to be able to pay? If your rent in a city like Tijuana, let's say, it is so expensive, it is not even going to, you're not even going to make it. And even if you're going to be a general manager, hypothetically speaking, of Carl's Jr., you're not even going to make what an American makes with that same product at the same company. So this is why a lot of it has to do with how these international corporations manage the agreements with countries and foreign countries. Let me go a little bit more deeper. The number one industry in the world, it is the automobile industry. The automobile industry, in Obama years, he made them go all the way to where? All the way to China, because Obama likes to lick the butt of China. The next president, Donald Trump, came in and he said, you know what? Not a Trump lover, not nothing. I'm just stating the facts. Trump said, you know what? We're spending so much money on these corporations and they're all the way overseas. We're spending on transportation. We're spending on, exporting and importing. We're spending on, oh my God, containers. We're spending on all this. Why do we have them over there when we can bring them close to the borders? Thank you so much. RJ Jordan bought me 5 copies. Buy me a copy. It is right there, pinned in the chat. Thank you so much. Why do we have them over here, all the way to China? We can bring them all the way to the border with Mexico and have the manufacturing occurring on the other side of the border. And he saved a lot of money. Although his plan was to ultimately one day bring the whole automobile industry back into the United States, he said, let me have them right here real close. That's not where I'm going. Where I'm going is also look at these monsters. The automobile industry, it is the most lucrative industry in the whole world. The number one that sells automobiles is China with 22.5 million cars per year. Meanwhile, the automobile industry in the United States is selling like 11.25 million cars per year. But this tells you how, An average worker in the United States of America, if it is Chevrolet, if it is Mazda, if it is this, an engineer will be winning, making a killing. But it's because it's in Mexico, you denigrate the salary and they don't make enough. International agreements, corruption, mismanaging of money, all of it goes to a higher class. The richer get richer, the poor do not grow, and the middle class stays in the middle class. I'm a capitalist first and foremost, but I'm a fair capitalist. I'm a fair capitalist. I think that these industries need to open their pockets and pay their workers good. And believe me, you will not have mass migration. Believe me, you will not have it. Security will be better. Employment will be better. Education will get better. Schools will be better. Streets will be better. Governments will be fair. Corruption will be lesser. Violence in terms of assassinations will be less. Cartel incentives to bring people into desperation to work for them will be less. Violence will decrease in poor states. People will actually start new businesses on their own. So you will make capitalists out of capitalists, out of capitalists, out of capitalists, and it will go to capitalists, capitalists, capitalists. Fair jobs with fair salaries. Fair and simple. You know, basically the number one situation why you have a mass migration in terms of South America and Central America is because there's not enough jobs and there's not enough work pay. And socialism has never worked. Yeah, I understand. I'm with you. Who's a socialist? I know. I completely grotesquely detest socialism and communism. But this is what I believe. Extremely what I believe. And we need to better on that. And countries need to start, like they say Panama, the Panama president is trying to do something. And he's actually, I like him a lot. He's actually trying to rebuild Panama, ending the corruption. The other day, he kicked out so many people that they were getting paid underneath the table in the government that he kicked them out. He said, like, you're receiving money from not doing anything. It's just these people need to go. Nayib Bukele, the best president in the world, doing a job that is putting an example to the world of how to reconstruct and how to rebuild a country. It's so unbelievably amazing. And Milei trying to do something that it's a lot of people think about him that he's radical, that he's this, that he's that. He's against the progressives and the liberals that they're trying to actually just look at France, what is happening right now to France. You have a lot of good people that they want to do things right. Although we know what we lack of. Look at what is happening to the greatest country that it was in the continent, Venezuela, the most prosperous country. It has been hijacked by communists. It's a dictator, Nicolás Maduro. They have the most prosperous industry of oil, and they're poor. How can that be? It is the most richest country on minerals, and it's because of the sanctions, it's because of the blockage. If it was because of the sanctions and the blockage, you will not get foreign cars, luxury cars to these governors and mayors. They will not travel to Europe. It's a stupidity. But, this is what communism will do. And, I'm just hoping on the 28th of July, it is the elections of Venezuela. I'm just hoping and praying that, this will come true, that it will create a change, that they will kick this dictator out and, life will go back to where it is and where it was in that beautiful country. That beautiful country is suffering. It's going through, their people are on an exile. It's an exodus. It's not even a migration anymore. You got more than 10 million people that they have exiled your country. You got a problem. If you have more than 10 million people that they're leaving your country, you better understand that you're doing something wrong. Something's not right. There's 10 million of my people exiting my country. What's going on? But these communists, these chavistas, they don't want to understand that they're doing things wrong. You know, really, they don't want to understand it. And there's a comment right here. Let me just elites steal resources to give to themselves more power. They have ruined live over the world. Yes, but also, you cannot blame that because you sound like a communist. You sound like a communist because you're going to tell me that what is happening to Venezuela is because of the sanctions and it's because of the Yankee. And that is the most stupidest justification ever. If you are justifying Castro, then he's going to say it's because of the sanctions and it's because of the white man and the Yankee. If you have never heard a Cuban speak, he will tell you it's not about that. If you have never walked with a caravan and seen thousands of people that they know what communism is, and they know that it's not because of the sanctions, that it's because of the communist hijack that it has happened to them, you will understand. Thousands, not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, thousands. And this is not academia, because you can study and be a doctor in academia. Somebody bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. On Twitter, somebody bought me a coffee on X. This is not academia. You can be a doctor in Marxism. You can be a doctor on Karl Marx and Engels. You can be a doctor. But what makes you a doctor? It makes you, when you work on a hospital and you operate and you fix things. What makes you a doctor, it is not that you know the notebook from exhibit A to exhibit Z. You can memorize all of it, but apply it on the field. And that is what has happened with communism. Communism, it really looks beautiful on the book. It sounds beautiful, everything for all, fair. But when you apply it, it's completely disgusting. It's complete assassination to a population. Destruction of school system, destruction of capitalist jobs, destruction of everything. Brings poverty, brings violence, brings insecurity. This will never work in the United States of America. It will never work. And I'm praying that this will never come. It is already infiltrated in the United States of America. You have a lot of communist politicians in your Congress. Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Gavin Disgusting Newsom, Jerry Nadler, all these people, they're disgusting, leftist, progressive, Marxist communists. That's what they are. And I hope that it will never work. And I hope that the United States people will wake up and just go back to where they were, man. Doesn't even matter you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you just want to live your life and be able to pay your bills. It's not even anymore about red, blue, whatever. People that just want to live their lives and be able to pay their bills. It's impossible to live in the United States. It's impossible to pay a rent in the United States. In California, go to live in San Diego, man. Go live in San Diego. Go live in San Diego. See how much you need to pay a rent in San Diego. It's like $2,500 for 2 rooms. It's impossible. It's basically impossible. In New York, I was watching the other day, a story in New York about the apartments in New York. $1,500 in New York. It is like a capsule of an apartment. You enter and there's the room. You change right, there's the restroom. You change left, and there is the wall. You change to the other left, and that's the window, and that's about it. It's unbelievable. All the majority, and I'm not lying, this is an actual truth. Blue states, they have the highest rent, the highest gas prices, highest level of violence, highest level of insecurity, highest levels of shootings, highest levels of gang violence, highest levels of everything. I'm sorry, but it is the truth. There's no lie about it. Highest levels of addiction, highest levels of distribution of drugs, highest levels of everything. And don't tell me, oh, it's because the Republicans sent them. What the hell? You're going to tell the cartel, hey, do not go to Arkansas there's a lot of white people over there, and go over here. Like, it's the most stupidest analogy if you're one of them. It's just analyze what is happening. This water is good, man. It's called Panama Blue. It's rainforest pure, and it's spring water. I look kind of fruity drinking this kind of stuff. By the way, um, I was going to say something stupid, but I'm not going to say it anymore. God bless you all. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much to join in. The biggest cartel, it is the DEA. Somebody say that. No, it's not. That's not the biggest one. I don't agree. It's another one that has the letters like that. We can agree on that. It's another one that has same kind of letters, but almost same kind of letters, but different. You know, same kind of. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because again, you know, I don't have no suicidal thoughts. Last thought. I'm Oscar Blue. I don't have no suicidal thoughts. I am good at health. I'm good in mental health. And you know, I'm doing good. I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm happy. That's it. You know, I'm alive. And there's my bed right there in my hotel room. I'm good. You know, I'm Oscar Blue, and I approve this message. Did Oscar say stupid ideology? My God. Jesus, Lord, please. Uh, oh yes, I'm not biting. By the way, do you guys saw what he just said the other day? He said, I'm not going to let, I'm going to win again in the competition. And I'm going to beat Donald Trump in this 2020. And it's like, no, man, that was back in 2020. Oh my God, it's 2024, for God's sake. Like the guy keeps messing up so bad. He's just a fossil. And, you know, when it comes to politics, I think that I don't know if there should be an age limit. And if it is not an age limit, they should be psychological exams, which they will tell you, you know, you know what, you're not competent enough to be a leader. You have to be kidding me, man. They put a video yesterday which he saw, which you were seeing him, and he's just out of thought. Like he's just, I don't know where it was, man. He's just out of thought. And he's just sitting down, and it's like he's listening to some music, and it has his hand, and immediately he goes way off into like the Star Trek episode 215 rerun just started. I think I need to go home and see it. And it's like he's way out there, man, in the field. He's gone. He's not here anymore. He's gone. I'm just telling you, he's gone. He's way out there, man. And I think that this is abuse. This tells you about the Democrats, how they will abuse an elderly person, man. And talk about his wife. Whew, man. How bad a wife can be, man. You know, how bad a wife can be. If you know that your husband, it is on those conditions, and you're still letting him be in public like that. You know his conditions. You live with him. You actually know everything of him. You know, you've been married to him for 70 million years. It's just, how can you let him be like that? You know, and let him, talk about the wife. It's just, whew, question right here. If the Mexican southern border was closed, the migrants would not be dying because they could no longer use the gap. your comment is way incorrect. If the Mexican border will be closed, the migrants will not be dying because they will not be using the gap. So you're telling me that all the migrants, they do not want to go to Panama, they do not want to go to Costa Rica, they do not want to travel to Nicaragua, they do not want to go to Honduras, they do not want to go to El Salvador, they do not want to go to Guatemala, and that basically you're telling me that we need to do what the United States says, and basically we need to clean your mess, and we need to be your employee to clean your mess, because the one that opened up the borders and signed the global compact and collaborated with the global compact of migration to tell the world that they can come in because there's an open border, it is your government, nobody else. So you're telling me that this mess has to be Mexico's fault because in their south border, they're open. And so Mexico does not have a constitution. Mexico is not a sovereign nation. Mexico does what the United States says. Are you telling me this, Kevin? Your name is Kevin, right? So Mexico needs to obey what you do, what you say. Basically, we are your employee. You own us. That's basically because you're created this mess, and if the cartels come from Mexico, there's no cartels, by the way, inside of the United States, because that's what you're basically saying. So the trafficking of fentanyl, it is Mexico's fault. It is nobody that is buying it in your land, because the number one buyer of fentanyl, it is the United States. The number one distributor of artillery and guns comes from the United States into Mexico to the cartels. The number one buyer of child trafficking, it is sadly in the United States. Buyer of cocaine, it is sadly in the United States. So for order for the cartel to grow, there needs to be a buyer to have that power, to have that amount of power. And if you're telling me that if the south border was closed of Mexico, migrants will not be dying. So you're basically giving this responsibility, justifying your government, giving the responsibility to Mexico to close their borders because Mexico can let in 3 trillion migrants if they want. It is their land and they can do whatever the hell they want. You know, they can do whatever the hell they want. They have their own law and their constitution. But you're telling me that because they have their open borders, it's because they're dying. So it's not because of your government. It's not because of your policies. It's not because of your incompetent Congress people and senators on the majority on the Democratic side that they're not doing anything about it to save lives. They're only complicating this and they're weaponizing this migration for their own political affair. It's not because of them that they're the ones that are incentivizing this to continue. It is because Mexico does not close their south border. Are you telling me this? Really? Are we on that level of knowledge, people? Are we really justifying Joe Biden and his crimes? Are we really justifying Alejandro Mayorkas and his crimes? Are we really there? That's the question that I want to ask. Are we really there? Are we really on that particular place that we don't understand where the actual initiation of the problem? Of course, Mexico has their fault. Mexico has their fault because they have a cartel problem. We know that. Mexico has, a problem with insecurity and violence. We know that. And Mexico also has a problem with trafficking and human traffickers, and we know that. But again, if the border was secure on the United States of America, we will not have this enormous problem, and the cartel will not be growing 3 times bigger, and we will decrease. We will decrease the level of people basically having power. Kevin has another question right here. You're always saying you are mad. No, I'm not mad. I'm completely grotesquely upset that innocent people are dying and the migrants are dying. Yes, I just said if the border was closed, will they still be dying? You're talking about the Mexican border. That's not the problem. That's not the problem. If your policies will be implemented correctly, and if the United Nations will completely effectively put the global compact on migration in every country, and if your country stop incentivizing people to come to these dangerous places, a lot of people will be saving their lives. President Molino of Panama just did the most humanitarian thing in history, possibly, in immigration in Panama. He just closed the gap, and you don't even know how many people they're going to be saved. Look what just one president did. So he closed several places of the gap. That doesn't mean that migration is going to stop. So let me just tell you this. Do you think that only migrants are coming through the Darien Gap? Migrants are coming through Central America. Migrants are flying into Cancun. They're flying into City of Mexico. And from there, they choose the bad pathway to choose a trafficker, to choose a coyote into your country, walking and crossing rivers, walking deserts. You know, I really, my God, sometimes it's really hard to explain this because we have been doing this for so many years. And Jesus, man, it's just, you're flying, they're flying migrants into the country, man. It's just from all parts of the world, China, Middle East, a lot of places, man. And it's, Jesus Christ, man, for God's sake, where are we? How much is it costing Mexico for migrants to come through? A lot of money. A lot. I don't have exactly the amount. Do you have the amount on your country? Flying them into America on our money too. No, that I cannot prove that. I cannot prove that. I had never seen that. And I'm not trying to be negative about it. I cannot prove that. Somebody bought me a copy. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. I cannot prove that. I cannot say they're, I cannot say that they're actually flying them. I never seen that. I'm sorry, but I never seen it. If you're talking about that they're actually flying them inside of the United States of America, well, that is a different scenario because Shingal. So I never seen it, and Mexico does nothing about cartels. Uh, sh- uh, they have tried, and it's difficult because they have grown so much, and it is a bilateral situation. We need to understand that. And cabrón, I don't want to talk about the letter organizations, but you need to understand that a lot of it is controlled by the CIA. And we need to understand that we need to be real with each other. There's a lot of corruption with these letter organizations. There's a lot of corruption. Do you think that they don't know who controls the cartels? Do you know that they don't know who controls the fentanyl that is coming? Do you know? Did you not know who controls who is going to be the next campaign, who is not? I'm so sorry. It is a reality check for you. It is an international business. It's like if it's let me compare it to something that is really stupid, but just uh, you know why they don't stop it. Do you know how much a multi-billion dollar business is? It's like a serious example. Why there's no cure for cancer, but there's actually making a transhumanism, and they actually found the cure for COVID in less than 2 to 3 months. The pharmaceutical companies, basically controlled. It's the industry. I'm just it's we need to understand this is an international business. It is not just it's a you give me, I give you. You had enough. Let me lock you up. You're being a little bit radical. You're making a lot of violence and insecurity. Let's lock these people up. It's a lot of control. It's just you have to have instability to have something to justify that you're actually doing something, but you keep the problem going. It is sadly to compare it. I'm not going to compare it like that. It's just an hypothetical comparison, but you know, let me just tell you, it's like the NGOs and the United Nations. They know that there's a crisis, but they do not stop the crisis, because if they stop the crisis, they will stop living out of the crisis and they will not get funds and they will not create instability and they will not have control over countries to be implementing their laws in their countries. It is exactly like that. You have the cure, you have the solution. You created the problem and you have the solution. It's just, it's so easy. You create the problem and you have the solution. You have people that, you have people that they're migrating through a horrible, horrible place, a journey that is the Darien Gap. And it has been happening for almost 7 years and a little bit more than that. But in those 7 years that these NGOs have been in here, don't tell me that in those 7 years you haven't found the solution. And in these 7 years, you have been asking for multiple $1 million of funding. You actually know what's the solution, but it hasn't given out the solution. So when the president comes into Panama and says, I'm going to shut it down, who were the first ones that started screaming to the four winds to say, no, why are you shutting it down? That's not the solution. Who do you think they were? The international organizations. Why? Because it's a business. So if this happens at the border one day and they try to end this multi-billion business that is the trafficking of synthetic and manufacturing drugs, what do you think it's going to happen? Now, the most concerning thing that I have said multiple times before, the most concerning thing about this is that the Biden administration has opened up a window that is a window for evil and violence and the devil, basically. And the level of trafficking that is occurring, not only trafficking of women, trafficking of children, organ trafficking, organ harvesting, it has been exacerbated in the past 4 years under the Biden administration. The problem is that the next candidate that comes in, if it is not Biden, and says, I am trying to shut it down, as somebody saying, as soon as Trump gets in, it's going to get fixed. A miracle is going to happen. It's going to take more than that. Because what do you think is going to happen now that the cartel has completely taken over, controlled certain borders? You cannot say to the cartel, hey, how you doing? It is open today, but you know what? I done my job, and the next guy is saying that tomorrow it's going to be closed. So I'm just going to tell you that tomorrow's closed. So you cannot do this anymore. So you think that Juan and Jose on the other side of the cartel are going to say, hey, guys, so the new president says that it's closed, so we need to go back. That's it. We're not going to make any money anymore. What do you think is going to happen? It's a lot of corruption, a lot of international agreements. I don't want to speak no more because it's going to sound like I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm creating hysteria. I'm fear-mongering. I am making up stories and all this kind of stuff. It's just logical things. Logical people in Mexico know this. It's just logic. It's 1 + 1 is 2. is the reality of what is happening. It's just logic. There's no other way to describe it. It's just logic. That is what is basically going to happen. It's just logic. It is not a conspiracy. It is not, creating hysteria. It is not that. It is just logic. And let's see what happens. So nice to say hello to you guys. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voices. We are live 2 hours speaking with you guys. It's because I drank a lot of coffee. I'm tired now. I'm exhausted. I'm about to go and, lay down for a little bit. And I'm going to edit a couple of videos and put some videos for tomorrow on X. I think I have a really important meeting, tomorrow. Hopefully we will give you more reality and truth of the news for everybody that is out there. Before we move on, lastly, before I move on, I've been doing this all in my videos. And I have, a message for everybody. As a Mexican national, born and raised, I love the United States of America. It's the greatest country. That offers opportunities to everybody. But we need to start understanding that everybody deserves a chance to be a first-class world country. Everybody deserves that. And, just we need a little push to handle it. We have a problem in Mexico that is corruption, that is the cartel. That's the number one problem. And basically, corruption and cartel, it is a number one problem in Latin America. And it's keeping us oppressed. We cannot move forward. We cannot grow because of that problem. And a lot of it has to do with, the demand, and a lot of it has to do with the distribution and the continuous distribution and letting these people grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Every country deserves to be good. Every country deserves to be better. Is there a solution? Yes, there is. Nayib Bukele put that example, and there is a solution. There is a method. It is scientifically has been proven that it can be done. It can be done, and Nayib Bukele proved that. And he's done an incredible and unbelievable job with this country. But we have faith that this will, that we will move forward as a nation. In terms of the United States of America, I feel sad of what is currently happening to you guys. Never thought in my life, in my wildest dreams, I never thought that people will be burning continuously your flag. Never in my life I will think that they will fly another foreign flag in a pole on top of your flag. That's ludicrous. I never was thinking that they will not sing the national anthem because they will feel oppressed and they will feel that it is colonizers or white supremacists. Never in my wildest dreams I would think that. And it's happening. And I believe that this is not about left, right, conservative. It's about actual people that they want the United States of America, and they love their country. And they love that land. It's about that, defending that, because without that, you will actually lose freedom. And look at France right now. France, I don't know what is going to happen to it. Tourism has slowed down, has gone down so bad in France. When I was there, it was really bad. Insecurity was really bad. You're going to see migration from French people. And I'm not even lying. You're going to see it. It's as it has been with people from California, that they have been migrating to Tijuana and Mexicali and places to live cheaper because they cannot afford what they have in the United States. But radical progressive policies, man, they bring destruction. And it is what it is. It is written on the Karl Marx and Engels. to have power, you need to divide and to create chaos to win the power of the state. That's basically what is happening. It's a strategy that has been proven. It's working right now. It has a loophole, and we can win. We need to have good politicians to basically, win. God bless you all. Stay safe. Prayer for everybody that is watching right now. Lord, protect every single one person that is right now in their homes. Uh, if they don't have food on the table, make a miracle, put food on the table. If they have a sick person, try to help them, protect them. If they're driving home and, bring them safe to their house. If they're going through some situation where they feel depressed and insecure, please bring them strength. If they're going through some situation where they have a mental illness, please bring them somebody that can help them and hug them and give them strength so they can continue to move on. If somebody feels alone, bring company. Your angels, bring them around them. If somebody has struggling with money, bring a solution, Lord. Do not give them the money, a solution so they can know how to make the money and they can work, so they can be valued and they can value their efforts, Lord. If you see a child, Lord, right now that is being abused and a woman that is being abused, please, Lord, help something that it can happen so that child and that woman will not stop being abused. Lord, help us with continue our work. Bless us, Lord, every step that we take. Protect us, Lord, as we are moving forward with these situations that are happening. You're the only one that knows why this is happening. Tough times, make tough men, and weak times make weak men, but there's tough men that need to make these weak times for be greater times. So then again, there will be tough times. And let the good man rise and let the weak man learn from the good man and the tough man. So we all can be tough and believe in you, Lord. Number one thing. Don't ever leave us, Lord. We ask you that in all faith. Please forgive us for all our sins and everything that we have done wrong. You are so good to us. Even when we're behaving bad, you always give us food. Even when we are treating bad somebody else, you always bring us home. Even when we wake up and we feel that we haven't accomplished anything, we don't even appreciate that we woke up and we have life. Thank you, Lord, for everything that you have done. In Jesus' name, amen. Somebody's here in the room, and it's right here. I feel you. I don't know who you are, but I, I felt you, man. I don't know who you are. My body just like felt something is here. Ah, God bless you. Stay safe. In Jesus' name, amen. Stay safe. Have a blessed night. 2 hours and 3 minutes. I went a long time, man. I don't go this long, but I believe that it was made to be. Stay safe, and like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission.